After a very long helicopter journey, we have finally arrived in Italy. Welcome to the Dolomites and welcome to the BioSyn Sanctuary. When looking out the helicopter, this looks to be a far more advanced facility to any of our DFW outposts. My question is, who is the mystery person that invited us here?
Allow me to take over. Most of you will know who I am, but for those who don't, I am Dr. Henry Wu, lead scientist and genetics expert at InGen. However, I have been secretly working here at BioSyn Genetics for a very, very long time. Earlier this year, when the Orion program fell and Sergei Balkahavik was devoured, I moved my research here at the BioSyn Sanctuary. And it was me who personally invited you to see what we've been working on. This is the animal that killed Sergei Balkahavik and the animal that devoured the rest of the Orion program. InGen has kept this animal in their laboratories ever since the incident on Sanctuary Island in 2030. I managed to convince the InGen scientists to deliver this monster to the BioSyn Valley. It proved, however, to be so violent and aggressive that we've had to cage it inside these holding pens as we wait for an area in the valley to become available. I have not just invited you here to BioSyn to see our new facility. I have been monitoring your movement and your work with the DFW throughout the United States, and now I want you to help us. In the valley, there is a T-Rex. This T-Rex is like no other, and I happen to know that you have had previous experiences with this specific animal. He goes by the code name Orion Test 1. I want you to help capture this Rex and bring him to the holding pens, just like the Giganotosaurus. I recommend taking control with one of our ranger teams to drive into the valley and capture the Orion Test 1. Time is not on our side, and I want that T-Rex back in my control.
Dr. Wu is correct. Inside the valley is a Tyrannosaur that we have not seen for a very long time. Last seen by us on Isla Matanceros 5 years ago, I was led to believe that this animal had been destroyed. The Orion Test 1 seems to have grown since we last saw him. I will contact the ranger teams. We have an asset out of containment.
Okay, Tim. The animal is extremely dangerous, but we have exact orders from head office that we need to capture and contain him before he causes more destruction in the valley. This is Ranger Team 31, reporting back. We have eyes on the asset. Orion Test 1 is close to the airstrip. That is one big T-Rex. We're signaling a flare. He's taking the bait. Orion Test 1 is close to the trap. I repeat, Orion Test 1 is close to the trap. This is Mission Control. The asset has been delivered.
Now that Orion Test 1 has been captured, Dr. Wu, what else can we do at this state-of-the-art location?
Explore BioSyn's state-of-the-art facility. I recommend taking a trip to see our new aerial deterrent system up in the mountains, as well see our marine life in the lagoons. If you'll excuse me, I'm needed in the labs.
Inside the new invisible aviary, a Quetzalcoatlus is released into the mountains. This invisible aviary is all thanks to the new aerial deterrent system, allowing the animals to fly freely without a cage in the way. This barrier keeps the species to specific areas and not towards the public. More of the assets that we bred at our Oregon facility have been released into the BioSyn Valley, including a group of pyroraptors. Close to the main facility, groups of Dimetrodons graze in the valley. This is where we gain the research for what we created in Oregon, at BioSyn's main headquarters above the Amber Mines. A group of underground tunnels have been dug out for their new Hyperloop system, allowing you to access these viewing platforms without going inside the actual enclosures. To keep certain species away from one another, BioSyn has engineered invisible fencing. Over in the lagoons, a small group of Dunkleosteus are released into the water. It's open game, however, to the apex predator that inhabits these waters. A large megalodon emerges from its hidden cove. It violently attacks a male Dunkleosteus and leaves it for dead on the water surface. Back on land, the ranger teams have managed to capture 3 more carnivores to release into the valley. An angry red Allosaurus, as well as a male and female pair of Carnotauruses.
For a vehicle return.
I will now hand over to Henry Wu, so he can explain more about the Orion Test 1 Tyrannosaurus.
BioSyn Genetics scientists, may I present to you the Orion Test 1, a colossal Tyrannosaurus Rex created by the Orions all the way back on Isla Matanceros in 2025. He has been hidden away for a very long time, for good reason too. To the public's knowledge, Orion Test 1 was believed to have been executed by Firing Squad. This, however, was only a cover story. Orion Test 1 was actually placed into the hands of me. I had her transported here to the BioSyn Valley, where she has broken containment multiple times. Orion Test 1 possesses the strength of an Indominus Rex. This animal single-handedly killed my Indoraptor that the Orions used to try and stop this monster. The Orion Test 2 was created on Isla Nublar. However, she was killed earlier this year on Sanctuary Island by the Orion Giganotosaurus. as Orion Test 1 was male and the Orion Test 2 was a female. It was originally meant for the two Rexes to procreate. Unfortunately, Test 1 didn't respond well to the breeding process and was deemed unstable. This whole project was conducted in secrecy behind closed doors on Isla Nublar earlier this year, shortly before the Orion Test 1 was handed to me and she escaped into the valley. I never exactly had a good relation to the Orion program. Now that they're gone and their owner is dead, I feel as though I am owed compensation for what they stole from me. If you remember, the Orions stole my Indoraptor from Tacano and moved her to their base of operations on Isla Matanceros. Despite the fact that this Indoraptor was bred and raised inside a secretly Orion-funded Tacano facility, I should have still been consulted. Then, of course, she was killed by Orion Test 1 in 2025. The Orions also cloned a rival for my Indoraptor, a Giganotosaurus. These two animals were made to fight each other over the years. It was obvious that the Orions did not have the meticulous scientific knowledge that I possess. Soon after her death, they extracted blood samples from my Indoraptor and instead cloned her mind into an Indominus Rex. They also cloned another Giganotosaurus for a rematch against one another. It again stood no chance and was defeated once more. I congratulate you on yours and the Ranger team's effort to contain and capture the Orion Test 1. While he is back inside a holding pen for now, it will not be long before he breaks out again. When he does, in fact, break containment, you know what to do.
While Henry was busy explaining the Tyrannosaur, I have discovered secret files detailing about what they are hiding inside their secret security vaults. And just as Dr. Henry Wu had predicted, the Orion Test 1 has breached containment. Before the Ranger teams can intervene, the Rex begins its rampage, picking off unsuspecting visitors inside the valley. Inside the holding pens, the Orion Giganotosaurus breaks free from its cage and too goes on a violent rampage. It attacks and eats a BioSyn scientist. It has not tasted humans ever since the incident on Sanctuary Island earlier this year. The two Orion predators lock on to one another as the rain begins to pour. The Tyrannosaur lands a fatal first bite against the Giganotosaurus.
You are allowing these animals to fight! This is not the reason why I brought you here!
Shortly after it fled, the Orion Test 1 goes to finish the fight, where it lands yet another deadly attack on the Orion's killer. Eventually this fight to the death ends as the T-Rex bites down on the Giganotosaurus and slams it into the river, the animal that killed the Orions, slayed by another Orion program creation.
I am not happy that you have allowed these monsters to kill one another. The Orion Giganotosaurus was a mighty killer. Before he devoured his creator, he was planned to be the ultimate killing machine. It seems this is a good time to release what we have been hiding inside the security vault ever since you got here. I present to you the BioSyn Giganotosaurus.